Well, hello again, students. I want to give you some support concerning regression and those dummies. First of all, I've created all those dummies like you saw in the last video, and we want to do a regression now. So we go to regression, linear, and what do we want to explain? Human development. And how do we want to explain it? By those dummies. And I select not all dummies. I select the number of dummies minus 1. Why? Because we learned that there is, if you have, like for instance in our case, 7 categories, you only need 6 dummies. I made all 7 dummies, but we only, for our regression analysis should use 6 dummies to represent 7 categories. I'm not going to concern myself with those statistics and all those other plots, but let's run the regression. And I'm interested in those betas. And what do we see? We see that each, for instance, each beta is significant. Each dummy is significant. But should we learn also that those 6 dummies represent 7 categories, and how should you interpret this? This constant is representing the dummy. Yes, you guessed it right. It's representing the dummy occidental. And you see, for all other countries, or all other regions I should say, the dummy is negative. And this is what we expected, because the human development in the occidental countries are probably the highest. And if you want to know what is the human development, for instance, let's say in the Arab world, you should subtract, in this point, 0.2 to get the human development in the Arab world. So this is how you should interpret this. Yes? Okay. So this is quite essential that you know that if you use 7 categories, you only need 6 dummies. Okay, another thing. I'm getting this output. We should all, in the exercises, it's also stated that we should logarithmic transform our gross national product. So let's do this. How to transform this? It's not, I just call it ln, and this one we should transform. So let's transform it, ln. And now we have transformed it. And we see that there is a new variable created, ln, and we know this is the natural log, or the logarithmic transformed gross national product of 98. Okay, I want to make a scatter diagram. And in this scatter diagram, what we will see is, I want to use the variable human development, and I want to use this ln, this logarithmic transformed gross national product. And another thing I want to do is, I want to set markers, for instance for those regions. If we click on OK, you see, this is what we get. This is what we get. These are the scatter diagrams. If we want to draw a line to this, we could say yes. If you want to have a linear regression line, you do it in regression, close, and get this linear regression line through the dots. So this is the relation between the human development and the log transformed GNP per capita. But what I wanted to show you is the following. Get rid of this line. If you click on the dots and you click again those dots, I only have the purple dots, and the purple dots are representing Sub-Sahara Africa. And I click on my right hand button and I go to fit only this subgroup. This is the regression line for Sub-Sahara. But if I, for instance, click again on dots and I click on a green dot, you see this is for those post-communist countries. And I have a line there. What do we see? You see this line is completely different. And if I click again dots and I click on blue one for Occidental and a regression line, what do you see? You see different lines, right? The thing is, with those different lines, they also explain those dummies, because those dummies are nothing but vertical translations of the regression line. And you see this line for Occidental countries has the highest intercept with the vertical x. Communist countries are beyond a little bit lower, and you see those sub-Sahara countries that are much lower. So this is, for instance, our constant in the model, and we have to subtract something to get the constant for communist countries, and we have to subtract a whole lot to get the constant for sub-Saharan countries. So this is a more of a graphical way to show how these dummies work. The only thing we didn't discuss, because we only have 2 lectures, there is also a difference in slope within those lines, and we didn't discuss this, and I'm not going to discuss it. Maybe you already heard of it. It's called interaction, but more in the sense like we're mostly concerned now with the difference with those intercepts with the vertical x. And this is how to view it. Okay, thank you for your attention.